Have you ever had that feeling, and it's super common for English learners, where you know the words, maybe you even get the grammar, but actually thinking in English, your brain just seems to hit a wall. Like your internal chat stays firmly in your native language. It makes fluency feel just, well, out of reach. If that sounds familiar, seriously, you are not alone.
Absolutely. And that specific mental block, that's really what we're digging into today in this deep dive. Our goal is to explore, the why behind it. Why does this happen? And then, more importantly, share some really great tips based on expert advice to help you start thinking in English more naturally.
Okay, let's unpack that then. Why is it so tough to think directly in English? Even for people who've been learning for a while, you'd think it would just sort of click.
Yeah, it seems like it should. But looking at the research, there are really three main factors that keep coming up. First, and maybe the biggest one, is just habit. Or maybe better put, neural habituation.
Neural habituation.
Right. Your brain spent your entire life building and reinforcing pathways for your first language. It's the default setting. Super efficient, sure, but also really resistant to change. It's not just used to it. Your brain is literally wired that way.
Okay, wired. That makes sense. What else?
Second is often about vocabulary, not just knowing words, but having a big enough pool readily available, enough words to actually express your thoughts fully without constantly stopping to search or translate. If you don't have the words handy, it really slows down that internal process.
Right, the searching definitely breaks the flow.
And the third piece is confidence, or rather the lack of it. That little voice worrying about making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That can actually stop you from even trying to think in English internally.
Mm.
It's like a subconscious brake pedal. But honestly, everyone makes mistakes when learning. It's just part of it.
Wow, okay. So, neural wiring, not quite enough instantly accessible words, and that fear of messing up. I can definitely see how those pile up for listeners. It really does sound like running with ankle weights, like you said. So, knowing these hurdles, what can we actually do? How do we start training our brains, kind of rerouting those pathways to think more naturally in English?
Yeah, the good news is you can train your brain. There are concrete strategies.
The
One foundational thing many experts suggest is starting small by narrating your world.
narrating your world.
Yeah, basically talking to yourself, but in English. Describe what you're doing during the day. Simple stuff like, I'm waking up, I'm eating breakfast, going to work.
Okay, so like an internal commentary. I could be saying, I'm sitting at a desk, talking into a microphone. We're
Mhm.
looking around, there's a pen, a notebook, a lamp, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Even just thinking, I'm putting on my shoes, or, okay, opening the door. It sounds almost too simple, maybe.
Maybe, but I can see how it gets you started.
Right. The key is consistency. The more you practice just observing and describing in English, even silently in your head, the more natural those pathways start to feel. You're building the habit.
Building the habit, okay? And what about the vocabulary piece? You said not having enough words slows things down. How do we build that up effectively?
Vocabulary is definitely crucial. The more words you have readily available, the easier it is to form thoughts without, hitting those roadblocks.
Hmm.
There are loads of ways to learn new words. Flashcards, various apps, even just writing them down. But the key is using them. Try to put new words into sentences right away.
Right, make them active.
Exactly. And for flashcards, there's a tip about reviewing them a little bit apart. Like, don't cram them all at once. Spacing it out helps your brain remember them better. Start slow, build a list, maybe aim to learn, and actually try to use a few new words every single day.
And thinking about words relevant to this whole process, some came up in our research, like overcome, meaning, succeeding against a challenge, like overcoming that initial shyness
Ah.
to even try thinking in English
Good one. Yeah.
or express, being able to show or tell how you feel or think, which obviously gets easier with more words.
Definitely.
And confidence, which we mentioned, that feeling of being sure of yourself. Speaking even a little English in public can give you more confidence, right?
Absolutely. It builds on itself.
And finally, narrate, which is exactly what you were just suggesting. Telling a story or describing things, like narrating your own day.
Precisely. Using those words helps embed them. So alongside building vocabulary, another really powerful technique is immersion.
Immersion.
Right. Yeah, basically surrounding yourself with English as much as possible.
Yeah.
It means really trying to listen, read, speak, even think in the language whenever you can.
And you can make that fun, can't you? It doesn't have to be like homework.
Not at all.
You could read simple English stories, maybe ones with pictures to help, or listen to music you already love, but pay attention to the English lyrics. Try singing along.
Yeah, great ideas.
Or watch movies you know well, But switch the audio to English, maybe put on English subtitles at first. That helps connect the words you hear to the action you see.
Exactly. And speaking of subtitles, just to clarify, those are the lines of text usually at the bottom of the screen showing what people are saying. Using English subtitles while watching something in English can be a fantastic bridge, helping you understand the conversation flow.
Right. So the more you listen, read, and watch, the more your brain just kind of soaks it up, gets used to it.
That's the idea. It makes the language feel less foreign, more familiar. It reduces the effort needed to process it.
Okay, so you're surrounded by English, you're maybe reading and watching.
Yeah.
How do you actually flip the switch? How do you get from understanding the English around you to actively thinking in it?
That's where active use comes in. Talking. That's what really helps.
Walking up.
Yeah, even if it starts small. There are some great apps out there like HelloTalk or Tandem. They let you chat with native English speakers.
Native speakers, meaning people who grew up speaking English, right?
Exactly. People for whom English is their first language. Chatting with them, even just texting, forces you to form thoughts in English. Or you could join an English club. Maybe you find an online group. These can be really friendly spaces to practice.
Less pressure, maybe.
Yeah, less pressure. It helps you gain confidence. And you have to start thinking in English kind of on the spot, you know? The real key is just keep practicing. Even short conversations regularly help your brain get used to forming those thoughts directly in English, not translating first.
It sounds like it definitely takes commitment, though. It's not an overnight thing, is it? It reminds me of, like, growing a tree.
It's a great analogy.
You plant a tiny seed, you wouldn't expect a giant oak the next day. Learning a language, especially getting your brain to think in it, takes time and nurturing.
Absolutely. And that leads to a crucial point.
Yeah.
Patience. You have to be patient with yourself. Be able to wait calmly without getting upset when it feels slow.
Easy to say, harder to do sometimes.
Oh, for sure. But it's so important. And tied to patience is accepting mistakes. Everyone makes them learning a new language. Everyone. Think about a baby learning to talk.
Right.
They babble. They get words wrong. It's totally normal. The focus should be on getting your message across, communicating, even if it's not perfect English.
So don't let grammar rules paralyze you.
Exactly. Grammar rules are like the instructions for building sentences. Thinking in English is about using those instructions, often automatically, to actually have a conversation or form a thought. You can communicate a lot without knowing every single rule perfectly.
Right.
And we need to talk about that translation habit again. Trying to translate everything in your head from your native language first. It just slows you down massively.
It's like adding an extra step.
Big extra step. The more you deliberately practice thinking directly in English, the less you'll need to rely on that translation crutch. And confidence helps here too. The more confident you feel, the more likely you are to just let the thoughts flow in English.
That makes a lot of sense. And it also feels important to, notice when things do go right. Celebrate
Yeah.
the small wins.
Definitely.
Maybe you understood a whole sentence someone said without mentally translating. Or you managed to ask for coffee in English and it felt okay. Those might seem small, but they're actually a big deal. They show progress. That's a great job.
Absolutely. Recognize those moments. Maybe even write them down. Keep a little journal of your English journey. It helps you see how far you've actually come. Looking back at your achievements, those things you've succeeded at, like learning a new phrase or having a short chat, that can be really motivating.
Yeah, I like that. And maybe reward yourself too. When you hit a little milestone, do something nice for yourself.
Yeah.
Keep it fun, keep it positive. A reward is just something nice you give yourself for doing something good. Right?
Totally.
Right.
Keep the motivation high. Because look, some days will feel easier than others. That's just normal with any kind of learning. The key is persistence. Just keep practicing, keep trying, and you will see improvement. You have to believe in yourself. With hard work, you really can reach your goals.
And the benefit of all this hard work, well, thinking in English opens up so much, doesn't it? New friends, travel opportunities, understanding different cultures. The benefits are huge. So to wrap up then, the main message is, don't beat yourself up if you're not thinking entirely in English right away. It's a process.
Exactly. It's a common challenge rooted in how our brains work. But consistent practice, celebrating those wins, however small they seem, it all adds up. Eventually, thinking in English starts to feel more natural, more automatic, more confident.
Okay, here's a final thought to leave you with, something to really mull over. Think about all those moments during your day when you're just thinking, your silent internal monologue. How much of that time could you consciously choose to practice in English, even without saying a word out loud? What if every quiet moment, every internal thought became a tiny training session? Imagine making that shift, using those moments to build the habit. That could be a powerful way to make natural English thought a reality, couldn't it?